Those who have walked through the searing flames of humiliation, who have felt the sting of words flung like arrows, understand a truth that others only glimpse. Words, though sharp, are fleeting. They are but the whispers of wind passing through the soul. Yet their echoes linger, not because of their power, but because we allow them to take root. You who have borne the weight of scorn must realize this. Every insult, every sneer, is a reflection of the one who casts it, not of the one who receives it. The world thrives on the drama of exchange, on the clash of egos, on the spectacle of retaliation. But true strength lies beyond this theater. It resides in the one who does not flinch, who stands unmoved, who meets every venomous word with the silence of a mountain. There is a fire within you. It does not burn to destroy, but to forge. Each sting of mockery is fuel, each word of contempt a spark, refining you, sharpening your edge, tempering your resolve. The weak crumble before the storm of insults. The strong emerge purified, their essence distilled into unshakable confidence. You are not here to be shaped by the judgments of others, nor to be a mirror reflecting their insecurities. You are here to transcend. The words of the small-minded may swirl around you, but they cannot touch the core of who you are unless you allow them. The wind cannot topple the unyielding oak. It can only pass through its branches. Embrace the fire. Let it burn away the need for validation, the desire to respond, the impulse to defend. In its place, you will find a power that no insult can extinguish, a power that is entirely, unshakably yours. The forgotten power within. There is a peculiar tragedy in the world today. Countless souls drifting untethered, lost in the storm of others' words. They hand over the reins of their identity to whispers, shouts, and fleeting judgments, as though their essence is clay to be molded by any passing hand. But you, who stand at the crossroads of your own strength, must resist this surrender. To lose yourself in the opinions of others is the true act of weakness, a betrayal of the boundless power that resides within you. You are not a vessel to be filled with their narratives, their labels, their criticisms. You are the author of your own existence. There is a force within you, ancient and unyielding, that no insult can diminish, no praise can inflate. It is the part of you that remains when the noise fades, the crowds disperse, and the mirror reflects only truth. The weak allow themselves to be swayed, their sense of self-belief carried by the wind. But strength, true strength, lies in the refusal to bend to the weight of meaningless words. It is the quiet, unshakable resolve that reminds you, I am beyond your reach. I do not exist to conform to your expectations. I am what I choose to be. In the face of derision, do not seek validation. In the shadow of criticism, do not offer explanation. Instead, turn inward. Find the source of your strength, that untamed energy that has carried you through every trial thus far. Remember the moments you stood alone and still endured. Recall the fire that burns within you, the one no wind can extinguish. To know your strength is to reclaim your birthright. It is to rise above the petty games of those who seek to reduce you, for they see in you what they lack in themselves. And when you stand rooted in the truth of who you are, their words will fall like dust at your feet. Weakness trembles before authenticity. Strength thrives in its embrace. The eloquence of silence. In a world intoxicated by noise, where every soul clamors to be heard, the one who pauses holds an unmatched power. Silence is not absence, it is presence magnified. It is not the retreat of the timid, but the weapon of the wise. To remain silent when provoked, to pause when others rush to speak, is to command the room without uttering a single word. When you hold your tongue, you draw a line between impulse and intention. In that moment of restraint, you ascend above the chaos. The one who speaks too quickly reveals their weaknesses, their fear of being misunderstood, their desperation to justify. But the silent one, they evoke curiosity, even unease. They become a mirror, forcing others to face their own discomfort, their own inadequacies. Imagine the impact of a deliberate pause. A single breath withheld can transform the energy of a room. The aggressor, expecting retaliation, is disarmed. The onlookers, anticipating a clash, are transfixed. In that pause, you dictate the rhythm of the exchange, bending it to your will. Do not underestimate the weight of your silence. It speaks volumes, louder than any rebuttal, sharper than any retort. It whispers of confidence, of mastery over the self, of a mind that is not easily swayed. For to pause is to remind the world that you are not a puppet to be provoked into action, but the master of your own stage. Let your silence linger, like a storm waiting to break. Let them wonder what thoughts churn beneath your stillness. And when you finally choose to speak, your words will cut through the noise like a blade, precise and undeniable. In a world of ceaseless chatter, your silence will echo longer than their shouts ever could. The worth of a voice. Not all voices deserve your ear. Not all hands reaching toward you seek to lift you higher. Many aim to pull you down. Before you react, before you even allow their words to take root in your mind, you must ask yourself, who is this person that dares to judge me? To react without discernment is to cheapen yourself, to place your dignity on a level playing field with those unworthy of your attention. The world is filled with critics who produce nothing, who build nothing, who exist only to tear down. They are the hollow echoes of a life unfulfilled, their words a desperate attempt to borrow significance through your response. Do not grant them this power. Consider the source. Is this a voice of wisdom, shaped by trials and triumphs, or merely the noise of one who has never dared to rise above mediocrity? A lion does not answer the barking of dogs, nor does the sun pause for the complaints of shadows. Greatness does not stoop to explain itself to those content with smallness. Your energy, your focus, your very essence are finite. To waste them on the unworthy is to rob yourself of the strength needed for greater battles. Elevate your gaze above the petty provocations of those who cannot see beyond their own limitations. Let their words fall to the ground, unacknowledged, unimportant. In this refusal to engage, you declare your sovereignty. True strength is not in the force of your retaliation, but in the clarity of your indifference. To walk past a provocation with your head held high is to remind the world, and yourself, that your time, your reaction, your very being are reserved for matters far greater than the murmurs of the insignificant. The question that shatters armor. In the tempest of aggression, where words are flung like arrows and emotions boil over, there exists a weapon more powerful than any retort, a single unassuming question. Why do you think that? With this, you do not meet fire with fire. Instead, you strip the moment of its heat and force it into the cold, stark realm of reason. Aggression thrives on chaos, on the unchecked fury of emotion. But reason? Reason demands clarity. When you ask this question, you pull the aggressor from their fortress of bluster and into the open, where their motives and insecurities are laid bare. Most will falter, for their strength lies not in truth, but in the momentum of their attack. You force them to confront themselves, to examine the very foundation of their words, and in doing so, you take control of the encounter. This is not an act of submission, but one of supreme confidence. It is not you who stands accused, but they who must now defend their stance. The power shifts imperceptibly yet undeniably. In their pause, in their stammer, in their search for justification, you will see the unraveling of their aggression. You, in this moment, are not their equal, you are their superior. For only the weak resort to unprovoked attack, while the strong disarm with calm curiosity. This question is not just a response. It is a mirror, reflecting back their own insecurities and inviting them to wrestle with their own inadequacies. The next time their words come at you like a storm, do not recoil. Stand firm and ask them, with all the poise of one who has already won, why do you think that? The storm will falter. The moment will be yours. And they will learn, perhaps for the first time, the weight of their own words. The invincibility of indifference. Strength does not roar. It does not clamor for attention or validation. True strength is silent, unyielding, and untouched by the chaos of others. To show indifference is not weakness. It is the ultimate display of power. It says, without words, you cannot touch me. You cannot alter the course of my being. When you refuse to react, you become a fortress against the storms of the world. Insults, provocations, and judgments crash against you like waves against unbroken cliffs, only to fall away, powerless. The one who seeks to draw you into their turmoil thrives on your response, for it is in your reaction that they find their fleeting sense of control. Deny them this satisfaction, and you strip them of their purpose. Indifference is not apathy, it is mastery. It is the quiet confidence of one who knows their worth and refuses to let the smallness of others dictate their state of mind. By not reacting, you rise above, transcending the petty games of those who seek to drag you into their insecurities. You do not stoop to meet them on their level because you belong to a higher plane. To remain unmoved in the face of provocation is to wield a power that few possess. It is the power of self-mastery, of a mind and soul unshaken by the trivialities of others. When they lash out, when they hurl their words like stones, let them see that you are untouched, that their efforts cannot breach your calm. In this, you become invincible, not because the world has changed, but because you have refused to yield to it. Indifference is the armor of the wise, the shield of the strong. Wear it well, and no force, no insult, no attack will ever reach the core of who you are. You will remain untouchable, a beacon of unshakable resolve in a world desperate to shake you. The laugh that disarms. There is no weapon more potent than laughter, no shield more impenetrable than humor wielded with precision. When faced with rudeness, with the clumsy swings of verbal aggression, to laugh is not to dismiss, it is to rise above. A well-placed chuckle is the mirror that reflects their inadequacy, a reminder that their attempts to wound are little more than childish flailing. Imagine this: someone hurls their sharpest insult at you, expecting anger, hurt, or even retaliation. Instead, you meet them with a bemused smile, a tilt of the head, and the simplest, most cutting response. That's it? That's all you've got? Suddenly, the power shifts. Their words, once intended to pierce, are rendered absurd. They stand exposed, their intent neutralized by your refusal to take them seriously. But humor does more than disarm, it transforms. It takes the energy of confrontation and redirects it, turning tension into absurdity, aggression into something laughably insignificant. To laugh at someone's rudeness is to remind them, and everyone watching, that their attempts to provoke you are beneath you, unworthy of your true self. This is not the laughter of cruelty or arrogance. It is the laughter of clarity, of perspective. It says, "I see through you." Your words have no weight here. It is a reminder that you hold the power, for those who can laugh cannot be controlled. Humor, when wielded with grace, is the ultimate response to hostility. It is the light that dispels darkness, the breeze that carries away the storm. When you greet aggression with amusement, you become untouchable, a force that cannot be cornered or diminished. And in that laugh, in that simple act of turning malice into comedy, you declare your freedom. Your words are nothing, and I am everything. The silent command of the eyes. There exists a power beyond words, a force that transcends the noise of language and plunges straight into the core of another's being, the gaze. A single, unwavering look holds a potency unmatched by even the most eloquent speech. It speaks of confidence, control, and the quiet assurance of one who knows their strength. To meet the world with a steady gaze is to say, "I see you, and I am not afraid." It is to stand unshaken, your eyes fixed not in defiance but in certainty. The power of such a look lies not in aggression but in its depth. It reveals nothing you do not wish to reveal, while exposing everything in those who dare meet it. Your eyes, when steady and intent, become a mirror that others cannot escape. They reflect their own doubts, their own insecurities, until they falter, unable to hold the connection. The one who looks away first concedes the unspoken battle, for the strength of a gaze lies in its ability to convey what words never could. I am in control of myself, and of this moment. This is not a stare of confrontation, but one of mastery. It does not beg, nor does it attack. It simply is, unyielding and deliberate. In the realm of dominance and persuasion, a confident gaze can dismantle hostility, silence challenges, and command respect without a single syllable. The world is filled with noise, shouts, insults, empty declarations, but the power of the eyes cuts through it all. In their silence, they speak the language of kings, of warriors, of those who need not prove their worth because their presence alone is proof enough. When next you face the storm, Hold your gaze. Let your eyes communicate the truth that words cannot touch. I stand firm, unbroken, and you cannot shake me. And in that moment, you will find that the strongest voice is often the one that never speaks. The mirror of words. When words are hurled at you in malice, when insults are cast in your direction like stones, remember this. They are not simply reflections of who you are, but more often, reflections of who the speaker truly is. To be called something is not always a description of your character. It is an involuntary confession of theirs. The one who criticizes you speaks not of your flaws, but of their own limitations. Every harsh judgment they cast upon you is a window into their soul, a revelation of their fears, insecurities, and unresolved conflicts. They project upon you not the image of who you are, but the image of what they cannot face within themselves. In these moments, become the mirror. Do not respond in kind. Do not stoop to their level. Instead, reflect their words back at them, not through anger or rebuttal, but through understanding. With a quiet smile, a piercing gaze, you force them to confront the truth they seek to avoid. Their words, meant to wound, now turn inward, because the mirror you hold up does not distort, it reveals. The world is full of those who deflect their own shortcomings onto others, who use words as weapons to mask their own vulnerability. But those who understand the game do not react. They understand that the insults are not a statement about them, but a desperate plea from the one who speaks. So when you are confronted with bitterness, with accusations, with negativity, remember this: it is not about you. The reflection they have of you is shaped by their own fears, desires, and perceptions. And in that moment, you can choose to be the mirror that shows them the truth of what they are truly saying. By doing so, you disarm them, for the more they speak, the clearer their own weaknesses become. You become untouchable, not because you are immune to their words, but because you no longer allow them to define you. You are beyond their judgments, a reflection of who you choose to be, not who they are too afraid to confront in themselves. The art of silent victory. When confronted with the noise of another's wrath or aggression, know this: there is power in silence, a strength that cannot be measured by words. Do not meet their fury with your own. Do not rise to the bait. Instead, listen quietly, intently, without the need to defend or explain. Let them speak, let them unravel, because in the end, it is not your response that will determine the outcome, it is theirs. There is an art to allowing others to reveal themselves through their own words. When they are caught in the storm of their own emotions, let them rage on. Watch as they expend their energy, their strength draining with every syllable, every desperate attempt to provoke you. And you, in your silence, become the calm center, untouched by the winds that whirl around you. The one who speaks the most is often the one least in control. With every word, they expose more of their vulnerability, their anger, their inability to master themselves. You need not engage in their struggle. Let them talk until their words become empty, their meaning lost in the noise of their own frustration. In their relentless speaking, they will tire, and in their exhaustion, the power will shift. There is no need to fight, no need to argue. The greatest victory is not one where you defeat your opponent in battle, but where you allow them to defeat themselves. By listening, by offering no resistance, you strip them of their power. They will eventually realize that their aggression cannot touch you, that their words have no effect. And in that moment, they will fall silent, not because you have spoken, but because they have finally worn themselves out. In this silence, you emerge unscathed, while they are left to face the emptiness of their own words. You have not fought. You have not struggled. You have simply let them reveal the hollowness of their own attack. The power of sarcastic gratitude. There are moments in life when the most disarming response is not one of conflict, nor one of meekness, but one of brilliant, biting sarcasm. When confronted with unsolicited opinions, when faced with the arrogance of those who believe their words hold weight, the greatest weapon you possess is a simple, "Thank you for your opinion, it's been invaluable." This response, dripping with irony, is not an invitation to further debate. It is a subtle, yet devastating statement that you recognize the futility of their words. You acknowledge them, not with respect or genuine gratitude, but with a hollow courtesy reserved for something you know has no place in your life. Their opinion, however loudly it is proclaimed, has no real impact. And by thanking them, you highlight the absurdity of their offering. In the face of the unwarranted, the arrogant, the ignorant, sarcasm is a mirror. It reflects the ridiculousness of their words, amplifying the truth that their opinion is not only irrelevant, but also beneath you. It is a reminder, not just to them but to yourself, that you are not bound by the limitations of those who seek to impose their views upon you. What is more powerful than dismissing someone with a single phrase? You do not need to argue, you do not need to explain. Simply acknowledging their words with mock gratitude strips them of their power. You turn their attempt to control or influence you into an absurdity, a joke, a triviality. And in doing so, you stand taller, unconcerned by the noise they make. Sarcasm, in its finest form, does not engage, it elevates. It removes the need for confrontation and instead leaves the aggressor to stew in the realization that their words have not only failed to reach you, but have only made them appear small and insignificant. And by thanking them, you remind them that their opinion, like all trivialities, is nothing more than a fleeting nuisance in the grand scheme of things. The power of directness. There is a profound strength in the simplicity of truth, in speaking plainly, without hesitation or fear. When others attempt to provoke you, to push you into the realm of emotional reaction, it is not your anger or defense that will disarm them, it is your directness. Look them in the eye, and with calm certainty say, "You are trying to hurt me, but it is futile." This statement is not an admission of weakness, nor is it a challenge. It is a declaration of self-mastery. To say such a thing is to acknowledge their futile attempt without becoming embroiled in it. You reveal to them, in one simple sentence, that their efforts have no power over you. It is the ultimate act of sovereignty. You will not reach me. You cannot touch me. In a world where the temptation to fight back, to prove oneself right, constantly beckons, such directness cuts through the noise. You do not need to justify your stance, to explain your calmness. You simply declare it, and in that declaration, you expose the futility of their actions. They may shout, they may argue, but the moment you strip away the emotional charge with raw honesty, they are left with nothing but their own frustration. To be direct is to cut through the web of illusions that others weave around themselves. You do not play their games. You do not descend into the arena of petty insults or emotional warfare. You stand outside of it, untouched, unshaken. The power of directness is the power of knowing that your peace is yours, and no one can take it from you. It is the ultimate deflection, a reminder that the only person who can truly shake you is yourself. When others try to provoke, when they attempt to pull you into the mud, simply look them in the eye and say, "You are wasting your time." And in doing so, you claim your victory, not through retaliation, but through the serene assurance of your unassailable inner strength. Grow through pain. Every insult, every barb thrown in your direction, is not a wound, it is an opportunity. It is a chance to forge yourself anew, to strengthen the very core of who you are. In the crucible of pain, the true nature of a person is revealed, and those who embrace it, who welcome it, become something more than they were before. To be offended is to admit vulnerability, but to rise above offense is to evolve. Pain does not destroy the strong, it refines them. Every word aimed to wound, every sneer or insult, is but a weight added to the barbell of your inner strength. The more it presses down on you, the more you learn to lift. With each challenge, you grow, you become more resilient, more unshakable in your sense of self. There is no growth without struggle. Just as the body grows stronger with each strain, so does the soul grow stronger with each attack. The insults and the hate that others send your way are mere stepping stones on the path to greatness. They are the resistance that shapes you, the fire that tempers you, the adversity that sharpens your mind and heart. To take offense is to lose this opportunity. The weak will flinch, will retreat, will allow themselves to be consumed by the sting of harsh words. But the strong stand firm, knowing that each assault is a chance to grow, to expand their power. They do not run from pain, they embrace it, for they understand that in every insult lies the seed of their next transformation. As you endure the blows, as you absorb the negativity, remember this: you are not being diminished. You are being sculpted. You are being made into a force that cannot be broken. Every attack is not a sign of your weakness, but a marker of your progress. Keep pushing, keep growing, for the person who emerges from the fires of pain is unstoppable, unshakable, and truly free. The true victory. In the end, it is not the enemy who matters. The battle itself, the insults, the conflicts, they are but fleeting moments, soon forgotten. The true test, the true victory, lies not in overcoming the other, but in overcoming oneself. When you emerge from the struggle unscathed, when the words and attacks of others have no power to shake you, it is not because you have defeated them. No, it is because you have defeated the part of you that would have flinched, that would have been tempted to retaliate, to sink into the mire of anger and resentment. You have mastered the greatest adversary, the self. The one who survives the battle without injury is not the one who has bested their enemy, but the one who has bested their own impulses, their own weaknesses. The true warrior is not the one who strikes hardest, but the one who remains unbroken, unbent, indifferent to the slings and arrows that come their way. In this, they claim their highest victory, not over others, but over the forces within them that would have dragged them into the chaos. This is the highest form of strength, to stand firm in the face of adversity, to remain calm amidst the storm, and to know that the battle was never truly with the other, it was always within. The enemy is not the person before you, but the inner turmoil they seek to provoke. And when you stand victorious over that, you are untouchable. In the end, the greatest triumph is the one where you emerge not with scars, but with the peace of knowing that you are no longer bound by the need to fight. You have risen above it all, not because you defeated others, but because you have defeated the need to be defeated. And in that, you are free. In the face of conflict, the true strength lies not in your response, but in your restraint. You are not defined by the words or actions of others, but by how you rise above them. Let every challenge become a chance to strengthen yourself, to conquer the parts of you that may tremble in fear or anger. Remember, the greatest battles are fought within, and the true victory is the peace you carry with you, untouched by the noise. Stay strong, stay unshaken, and let nothing take away your power.